when I was at high school, my friends had a band, and they missed a vocal, so they didn't have a proper one. And I always thought I was a good singer, because I was singing in the choir, and there, among 100 people, you think you're a good singer. But when I tried it, and when we recorded the first song, it was the most awful song I've ever heard. Well, very few times in my life I really felt like I had to stand up and clap, because David...
The situation with Kosovo's economy here is terrible. Youth unemployment is sky high. The sense of opportunity is limited. I'm glad that the number of young people that were leaving the country that peaked a couple of years ago has now plateaued. If Kosovo's economy develops, then you all will become stakeholders in the country's prosperity and ultimately its peace and its good regional relations. So with this goal in mind, we need to finish the highway between Kosovo and Macedonia. This will liberate funds for other infrastructure and business promotion activities. In the U.S., we have something called the U.S. Small Business Administration, with chapters in each of our states and major cities. This is a federal agency that provides financing, technical expertise, export assistance to U.S. companies. So I would recommend to the new government that they study the experience of the U.S. SBA and try to replicate something similar to that here in Kosovo. Unfortunately, political leaders in the past have pursued a personal agenda and have enriched themselves rather than pursuing a social agenda and advancing the wealth and well-being of the people of Kosovo. When we think about a new government, we need to think about leadership in the post of prime minister. That's going to be the most important job. I, of course, am a U.S. citizen, so I don't vote here, nor am I endorsing any candidate. But I do know that the qualities that you want in a prime minister is somebody who shows leadership, who is tireless in pursuing goals, who's competent, and who inspires. Dialogue is always good. I can't say anything against dialogue. I've made a career about being a participant in dialogue, but dialogue needs to be about something. It can't be a process. It has to be product-oriented. And in my view, telephone area codes or license plates are just small symbolic steps. The dialogue with Serbia needs to have an end game. And that end game needs ultimately to be about mutual recognition. This idea that Kosovo is kept in a box, that it's not treated like a normal country, that Kosovars can't travel to Spain, in my view is just ridiculous. Brussels shouldn't allow it, and the U.S. should step up and make clear its strong support for Kosovo. This process of dialogue has been too incremental, too many small steps. We don't have much to show for it. Today, there's a dialogue between Kosovo and Serbia about normalization. This dialogue should really be about mutual recognition. And that needs to be reality-based. We should understand that Serbia does not act in a way which is friendly to Kosovo. In fact, it acts in a way as an enemy of Kosovo to undermine your progress, to limit your international recognition. Serbia actively works to influence the European Union to discourage greater recognition of Kosovo. It recently blocked Kosovo's efforts to join UNESCO. There are private structures established by Serbs north of the Ibar River. Despite efforts to normalize the situation, I call this a region occupied territory. And more recently, we've seen very inflammatory actions. So thank you all very much.